Dibs. Mega dibs. You give that directly to me.
Alright.
I understand there was an incident at the orchards. The pollination cycle began without my authorization. Fortunately, you managed to save most of the hive. The Waspitos are essential to the orchards, you see. Losing them would have cost us months of production. The orchards can be a dangerous place, but my workers on... Something about this incident troubles me. The circumstances are... suspicious. You have my attention. That's troubling, to say the least. Any
This happened just before the Waspito attack. Someone was trying to stop me.
Yes, I share your suspicions. Someone didn't want you following them. This feels like more than corporate espionage. Someone's playing with us, Inspector. And I have never in my life enjoyed games. Did you discover anything else? That's deeply upsetting. Dr. Lior, we have a murderer on the loose, Inspector. As if the death of Halcyon Helen... Her commitment to her ND... Interesting. The Rizzo's family is a small family, Inspector. Still, any information is good information. It troubles me to believe Liora could have been murdered by one of our own. Insisted? That's interesting. We'd scheduled a tour of the lab for Helen. Purely a public relations event to be held sometime in the indeterminate future. Then again, Helen and I were not well acquainted. I can't speak to her intentions. A picnic? I don't recall approving a private social gathering at the orchards. I'll have to make a note of this information. Thank you for bringing this to my... When you're ready, I suggest a word with the hotel coroner. She should have finished her autopsy. Why was there a suspicious-looking mascot in your room? I'm afraid I don't understand. Is this the lead-up to... My apologies. I can tell you're not, as they say in Terra 2, twisting my limb. I don't know why there was a mascot in your room. The Grand Colonial doesn't offer that kind of room service, I think. Such as? I most certainly did not. My policy toward Eridanos is one of, shall we say, benign negligence. I keep my distance and don't involve myself unless necessary. In any case, let me apologize for this unfortunate business. Was there anything?
It's done, Captain.
Nice one! purple berry fudge. A soft, sour, tangy shell around a sweet purple berry flavored center. Suck it. Chew it.
Their mistake. Never felt so damn good. Okay. Just wanna be your friend.
Inspector, good to see you. Welcome to the parade.
Trouble ahead.
Hey, you! We've been looking for you, and by been real busy sniffing around Eridanos for clues, haven't you, Inspector? See, Sluglight Underground don't like that much.
If you had anything to do with Sublight, you'd have started shooting about 12 words ago.
Should have kept your nose where it belonged, Inspector. What? No, it isn't. Listen. What? No! Oh, wait! I am high on... Hey, any chance we could reschedule? Maybe do this whole show that...
Don't fuck with the wrong merc. You won't like it.
That's a lot of containers. Is this just a distribution center, or you think they're planning something?
Somehow, I don't think the freelancers and sublight agents are staying at the Grand Colonial.
Hey, you! I got something I need to speak with you about.
What do you want? Shh! Not so loud! How'd you know it was me? Yeah, that makes sense. You must be a good one to sniff me out. I'm in no mood to sign autographs, and I hate disappointing fans. So I'm lying low. You know, incompleto. Oh, yeah, I guess it's kinda neato. Oh, what's it matter? Helen's gone. I've been trying to find who did this. That's what she would do. Track down the killer and bring them to justice. But I'm stumped. And not very clever. Being bright was always Helen's thing. Oh, so you're the inspector! Hope you have more luck figuring things out than me. You probably want to ask me some questions, huh? I'm sure you're asking everybody questions, so you can find... So, I was getting blotto with the rest of the Rangers. You know, soaked.
Looter, Half Shot, Void Lush, on the Byzantine Swizzle, Starry. 1 bit down, 3 bits up, spread across the spectrum. Top heavy. Should I go on?
The team noticed I was in a bad way when I got back to the hotel. When I told them Helen and I were Splitsville, they wanted to cheer me up. We were up the pole afore evening. The hotel staff said we was bothering the other guests on account of all the crying and yelling and practice body tackling. Zeke said we should move elsewhere, get some air. We ended up at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. I think somebody wanted to pet a woolly cow. There was this one cow off away from the others. Zeke figured it'd be a laugh to get her drunk. One thing led to another, and I think we might have maybe, stolen her. I don't know. We were drunk, and we made bad choices. She was all alone. My memory's a little muddled after that. I guess me and the team got split up, because I know I was on my own at the pilot house for a time. Yeah, it was. Because that's when I saw the weather station, which reminded me that Helen had asked me to get a data pad she'd stashed there for safekeeping. She sent a note to my hotel room before we, split. I don't know how long it was sitting there before I noticed. Sure did. Only there was a guard out there who found me. She started yelling about how I was trespassing and in serious trouble. Thing is, it was real dark out there. So dark, she couldn't tell who I was. Real sure. It was dark as night gets. Plus, I've got small veins. Anyway, I didn't much feel like trying to explain why I was out there, or why I was drunk, and holding someone else's data pad, and also maybe crying a little, so I booked it. Ran like the Rangers were down by 3, and I just bronzed the toss ball in the Friday zone. I didn't know where I was going, but my legs took me straight to my friend's... to my... fridge-rator. I don't want to tell you. I'll get in trouble. Should I?
Ever seen Terror on Monarch, Birdie?
Yeah?
You remember that part when she narrowly escapes the clutches of the Sulfur Queen and her pet Raptidons? They based it on me, Birdie. I'm the Queen of Monarch, and our captain here's got a ship.
They did? That doesn't seem right. Is that right?
I think we ought to take Birdie here on a little getaway. Take him home. Show him what I've done with the place. And her millions of little children. Ever been eaten alive from the inside?
What? No! This doesn't sound like a fun getaway at all. Look, I talked to Auric, okay? Auric West. Hangs out around the spaceport. He's the one who taught me the breathing exercises I use to calm down. Confidant is like confidence. What's torrid mean? Don't get the wrong idea, okay? Oryx's not a bad guy. He's just got an unusual job. So now you have the whole story. After I talked to Oryx, I went back to the hotel. Woke up the next morning with Helen's data pad in my hand and the hangover to end all hangovers. Don't know if I'll ever drink again.
Sure. Get yourself a bit of taro blood, whisk it in a bowl with an egg and crushed caffeinoid, hold your nose and drink it straight.
A shot of Spectrum mixed in a Gigantor energy drink first thing in the morning. Works like a charm.
Oof, thanks, but I think I'll stick to, not that. Anyway, you ought to take Helen's datapad. Maybe you'll have better luck understanding her notes. Either she was writing in code or I'm dumber than a bag of hammers. I tried for hours to crack her notes, but it's like I said. Being bright was Helen's thing. Okay. And listen, I want to help you find her killer, Inspector. I knew Helen better than anybody. And it'd be handy to have a guy like me around, in case anybody gives you trouble. I get it.
Hey, hey there. You looking to unwind, friend? Maybe you're interested in some. The name's Oryx. I deal in, shall we say, holistic pharmaceutical. I know. Ooh, why go? Well, I'm. I'll. Wait, you ain't a sheriff, right? You gotta tell me. I'll be honest, I don't really know where that puts us. All right, fine. Yeah, I know. Yeah, damn shame about that. Birdie thought the world of Helen, you know. He showed up drunk at my place wanting to talk about the breakup. Helen dumped him, he said. Boy, was he in a bad way. I'd never seen him like that before. We talked for a while, and when he felt better, I sent him back to the hotel. Told him to drink more water and get some sleep. Yeah, that was me. Birdie's got a temper, but he's not a bad kid, you know? He's trying to... He may or may not buy alternatives from me from time to time. A little diluted mantis or essence here, a little vitamin B negative there. Nah. What Birdie's got, he's stressed out of his mind, the poor guy. Everyone knows his name. Can't turn around without then you throw in playing tossball for a living. Violence like that, it does things to a body. It does things to the... Come on. Birdie's a damn good hacker, but taking that many blows to the noggin would scramble anyone's upstairs business. I know it's knocked a few of his memories loose. I worry about him, that's all. He's a good kid.
No, that's fine. You guys going to bed? Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
With Halcyon Helen gone,
What floor? Next stop.
Inspector. I'm pleased to hear that. Bertie Holcomb is a valuable asset to the Rizzo's Rangers property. When Helen was murdered, Bertie was nowhere to be found. The timing of his disappearance is unfortunate. That's ominous. Ah, Bertie Holcomb. How have you gone and complicated my life this time? I do wish Bertie wouldn't take refuge in the glass bottle every time something goes wrong in his life. If Bertie was drunk on the night of Helen's murder, then you're right. Be plain with me, Inspector. Do you... Understood. I'd like you to continue your investigation. I appreciate that. I'd rather keep Bertie within the public eye than let him languish in a bar at the... If you're through investigating Bertie, I recommend looking into Cedric Kincannon. He's been entirely too comfortable since we began this investigation. I don't trust Cedric when he's come.
You got an appointment? You're not allowed up with no appointment. Unless you want to chat with... Appointment? Yeah, that... No appointment? No... They don't pay me to be friendly. They pay me to keep... Not entirely out of... Inspector, you said? Well, maybe he'll appreciate your blunt charms. Maybe not. I'll see what he... Mr. Kincannon, got an inspector here demanding to see you. Want me to call the guards?
No, thank you, Eileen. I've been expecting him. Send him up, please.
Ah, Inspector. Eileen is my right-hand woman, and the finest assistant. She is also tremendously skilled in causing physical harm. I recommend you do not insult her with any further attempts at intimidation. No. Another murder? Drunk Raptidons? Black Hole Birdie practicing his hacking in the middle of the street? Stop me if it's one of those, or I'll just... Sounds as though you've already sorted it out yourself. Did he really? My word, I hope you shot him. Clearly someone out there wants you thinking I sent my goons after you. But I can't fathom who would benefit from tarnishing my reputation like that. Can you? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult your intelligence. I'm used to working with Lou, you see? I hope you won't hold it against me. So, as you've deduced, I did not send anyone from Slug after you, nor is it likely they assigned themselves that task. Still, I am sorry for the trouble, Inspector. With that settled, I assume you'll want to know where I was the night of Helen's murder. Let's see. That night, I was... torturing Elliot Nasser for information on missing cargo. That was a messy one. Didn't break until nearly noon the next day. Can you imagine? An excellent question. I had his body dropped off the edge of the land complex. I'm not sure what happened to it from there, scientifically speaking. Maybe it dissolved? Ultimately, though, it doesn't matter. You'd be a fool to believe me, regardless of what I told you. People lie, and I am, incriminatingly, people. And I appreciate that, Inspector. The fact of the matter is, I know I didn't kill Helen, and I trust you fully and completely to find whoever did. If it helps, however, you might consider pursuing not my means, but my motive. Why in the name of the architect would I kill Halcyon Helen? She was making me a fortune. If you do, be sure to drop by and regale me. I'd love to hear why I might have wanted her dead. You may very well want to. This particular trouble strikes me as not unrelated to your investigation. Items are disappearing from Slug's storage and processing warehouse. The thefts began a week before Helen's unfortunate death, and there have been more instances since. Before you ask, I know the difference between cargo going missing and cargo going missing. This is the latter. Nothing unsavory, and nothing Ludovico shouldn't know about, if that's your concern. I'm quite serious when I say Slug is a legitimate business. As to the specifics, I'm not sure. The warehouse foreman should be able to tell you. Before you ask, I know the difference between cargo... I'm not sure. I'm only confident there is one. That the thefts began mere days before Helen's untimely demise is an extraordinary coincidence. I'm not a man who believes in happenstance, Inspector. I do not trust it. I certainly wouldn't take that bet. Regardless, this will be fun. You out in the field, chasing down leads, me scheming in my office, preparing to unspeakably mangle the perpetrator. You do recall, Inspector, that I'm not to be trusted? But certainly, whatever you say. You'll want to speak with Ella Tinsley, the warehouse foreman. I've cleared her as a suspect myself, but should she refuse to cooperate, shoot her. No, I'm joking. If she won't cooperate, tell me and I will shoot her. And do feel free to search my office for clues while you're here. Don't hold back on...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This copy of TK contains 142 fewer pages than a standard. The missing pages were likely removed to create sufficient space for the hidden listening device inside. Inspector, please consider speaking into the device in order to trace the transmission and reveal the receiver's location. Ominous threat transmitted. Transmission analysis complete. While the precise location of the receiver could not be pinpointed, it has been narrowed down to a analysis in the area within a 0.5 meter radius of the book possesses a dust coating comprised of at least twice the number of particles. That is highly...
Solve the case.
Hey, could I talk to you for a second? Hey, I saw your ship. The Unreliable, right? It's a real beauty. Hey there. Word around the spaceport is that you came in on the Unreliable. You a new crewmate? I see. Well, this would have been easier with Hawthorne, but I hope that if you're flying his ship, it means you're a freelancer too. Wonder if you can help. I run an outfit for the moving of less than legal goods. There's a particular piece of thing is, I don't know where the cargo is right now. The crewmate who handles that is in the clink for getting a little too disorderly in town. We've already attracted too much attention. Too risky to visit her myself. That's where you come in. You help us out, I'll give you an equal cut of our pay. Damn. Fair's fair, though. I'll hang around here.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Transmission endpoint discovered. The receiver in this book matches the transmitter to the listening device found in Cedric's office. It's somewhat grime-covered. Due to the high level of foot traffic in this area, based on the accumulated mix of sludge and detritus. The receiver has been present since approximately a week before Helen's death.
Hi there! Sorry, this area is off limits to port vision. Oh, wait half a second. You're the... Sorry about that. I'll buzz... Feel free to have a look around, sir.
Wonder how many of these boxes fell off the back of the loader.
You're the inspector, aren't you? Boss Kincannon said you'd be by about the cargo that's been going missing. Gosh, this is so neat. Oh. Right, of course. That's the weird part. There's no pattern, far as I can tell. The thefts don't make sense. I ask you, who would steal a handful of Spacer's Choice Sabers, so dull they can barely cut mud, but leave the spectrum black? Ugh. Who'd be desperate enough to want to steal a Spacer's Choice Saber, full stop? Yeah, probably not. No one's dumb enough to think Spacer's Choice Sabers are worth half a damn. Then there's the most recent theft, 5 boxes of pens and a couple of sodas. I can't decide which one's sadder. I wish they hadn't stolen the blue pens. We can never keep enough of those in stock. Maybe they're keen on cashing out and want to go as painfully as possible. I don't know. Boss Kincannon's office is where he holds most of his meetings with important folks like Miss Helen. Just about all negotiations happen in his office too. Vendor pricing, major purchase orders, rentals for construction projects, you name it. Everyone here at Freight Storage and Processing, for a start. Thing is, the cargo is going missing before the shipments even get to the warehouse. Best I can figure, it's probably getting lost in the shipping yard. As for who has access there, Benton Chan, he's the shipping yard manager. He told me it's mainly just the loading automechs that handle cargo. Nah, Benton's too lazy for crime. The extra work would kill him. Last time I asked him to check the automechs, the whole head told me he couldn't help because he was dead. Brain dead, maybe. But no. My point is that if you think the automechs are a lead, you'll have to check on them yourself. Hopefully, you're mechanically inclined. Oh, before I forget, I figured you might want to access my terminal, so I had a spare keycard made. I wish you were...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Inspector, this loading automechanical's programming does not match factory default set. The standard defensive protocol has been modified to include an additional trigger. There is a directive in place to initiate defensive protocol should an unsanctioned data log installed in this automechanical be removed. Slug automechanical maintenance records indicate this particular unit is frequently reported as out of position or missing for periods of time. For Type K-19 cargo transport automechanicals, defensive protocol is triggered by attempted interference with cargo or its transportation or attempted destruction of the unit. Once triggered, defensive protocol targets the perpetrator and applies lethal force until the target has been deceased for a minimum of 3 minutes.
Loading automechanical unit K-14 is fully operational at 99% power. Please designate the cargo to be transported. How can this Certainly. Access panel is now unlocked. Ejecting data log 17C. Alert. Failsafe protocol triggered. Kill mode initiated. Understood. This unit is programmed to facilitate user queries. Kill mode. The ejected data log contains instructions to move cargo shipment 6, 8, 7, 5 outside the boundaries of the shipping yard. It also contains instructions to move randomized cargo shipments outside the boundaries of the shipping yard at intervals of 1 to 4 days. Apologies. This unit does not have access to cargo inventory lists. Kill mode re-engaged.
Take your best shot, asshole! Nice one! Nail them, Capo!
Inspector, to what do I owe the... The original incident? Well, I made him an offer he... That's a bit rich, considering the way you behaved toward my assistant earlier. Our combative... Had Lou wanted Rizzo's to retain full control of Eridanos, he shouldn't have skimmed the revised contract I sent him. Lou's an administrator, for law's sake. I thought he would adore all the fine print I added. Think of it this way. It was a test. It was all perfectly legal, too. Which irked Lou to no end. My power grab, as Lou called it, planted the seed of hatred. And Lou, obsessed with what should have been... such a... Ooh, I love this part. The big reveal. What makes you say? Damn. Hacking the Automex. So that was our skimmer's game. But why? Everything that was stolen has seemed random. So, our culprit had some... I must say, Inspector, you've done excellent work on this case. Then that just leaves how the culprit knew where their true target would be, or indeed, that Slug would soon possess it. Okay, that's very impressive. Don't ever touch me again. Am I right to think what you found in my office earlier was the other half? Not quite, Inspector. That listening device belongs to me. I lent it to Halcyon Helen to assist her with that, or she never intended it to stop. Impossible to know now. Unbelievable. I helped her. Gave her whatever she needed. I thought we were doing each other a good turn. This is a betrayal, Inspector. I do not take betrayal lightly. Helen should consider herself very lucky indeed that she is already among the dead, and that some other bastard beat me to putting her in the ground. Yes. There is, however, a slight chronological incongruency to it. I now have a motive to kill Halcyon Helen, but Halcyon Helen is already dead. If I'd known Helen was stealing from me, I may very well have killed her, or had her killed. Alas, I did not. Indeed. Incidentally, feel free to stop by after you clear me as a suspect. I won't even say, I told you so. Though I can't vouch for Eileen. I wish you luck with your investigation, though I doubt you'll need it. You'll find Helen's murderer. I'm confident. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must find a way to excise my anger that minimally damages my business empire. I expect it will involve shooting quite a lot of guns.
Inspector. Closely, I trust. Tell me what you found. Of course he's got an alibi. He runs Sublight Underground. He probably starts his day by preparing half a dozen alibis. Fair enough, Inspector. I won't try to influence your judgment any more than I already. Unfortunately, even I don't have the authority to detain Cedric. His line of work is dangerous, though. There's always a chance for an accident. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I've already lost Dr. Blossom and Constable Keene, but at least Cedric's alive. The universe is a just place.
Black hole.
You know, I never imagined Spencer Woolrich would outlive Halcyon Helen.
I can't believe Helen's gone. We're never going to get a sequel to Terror on Monarch.
Inspector, not a moment too soon. I've just finished my autopsy report. Do forgive me. The human body is a museum of gory wonders and vascular delights. Ruth Bellamy was killed by plasma damage to the upper vertebrae, the occipital bone, and the cerebellum. If it's any consolation, her death was instantaneous and painless. I've also discovered a poisonous compound in Miss Bellamy's stomach lining ingested during her last meal. Toxic, but not enough to kill her. Spencer Woolrich complained of a stomach ailment around the same time period. I assumed he was being, you know, Spencer. But now I'm not so sure. Oh, most certainly. Well, possibly they were trying to make her extremely uncomfortable, but I suppose killing her would also satisfy that criterion. The thought occurred to me. I tested this hypothesis by vacating the contents of my stomach and testing for the presence of the same toxin. Slightly elevated levels of mercury and an alarming amount of blue food coloring. But other than that, no. I'm certain it wasn't, as you put it, just the hotel food. Oh, how curious. I do believe you're right. I wonder if this has something to do with the autopsy process. She was Halcyon Helen up until the moment I brought her to the operating table. But as soon as I cut her open, I stopped thinking of her as Halcyon Helen. It's almost as if she stopped being an icon and became a human being. I had a feeling you'd understand.
The
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see. How may I be of assistance to you, Inspector? I'd love to, Inspector, but I don't really have the authority. Moreover, the guests were promised exclusivity. If I let you up there, I'll never hear the end of it. That's a good point. If they give me guff, I can just tell them that they're obstructing justice. That has a nice ring to it. Let me just set you up with VIP guest floor access. Done. You can now come and go as you please.
We should try to solve the puzzle hedges in New York.
What floor? If you see Black Hole Birdie, be sure to get an autograph for me. Just joking. I've already got one.
About time you arrived. I see you haven't dressed the way I asked you to, but I suppose that was expecting too much of a non-industry lout. Expect a complaint to management. Now, unless you'd like to waste more of my time, I suggest we begin rehearsal. You've fallen right into my trap, Captain. Oh, don't bother to fight back. Well, I didn't, you fool. It was in the script. Oh, no, this is curious indeed. You're here to investigate me? Oh, I assure you, I'm nothing special. Just an old crook with more money than time. That was a quote from The Retiree's Revenge, in which I played an ex-thief turned decrepit old man. But, of course, I'm certain you already recognized it. Now, what shall I sign first? Your weapon? Your wallet? Or perhaps something, a little more personal? Do you mean to say you're not a fan? Well, then how did you get in here? The only staffer cleared for guest room entry is the inspector for Bellamy's murder. Oh. Oh! Hello. Terribly sorry, Inspector. I didn't realize it was you. Understand that I am beyond willing to comply with your search for the fiend that did Bellamy in. You know, now that I look at you, you're the perfect reflection of me, back when I starred in The Marauder's Bane. The absolute picture of justice. Ask me anything at all. I might even give you a straight answer. Certainly. But, how was it that Bellamy... Oh, yes, I'm sure you must be overcome with emotion. Whatever the case, I hope she didn't suffer. I was meditating, of course. That's how I get into character. Respectfully, Inspector, it is rather counterproductive to commune with others while meditating. All actors have their methods, and this has been mine ever since I met that wonderful prophet of profitability. She taught me it for my role in The Unemployed Cometh. I had to lie face down on artificially heated pavement. The director wanted our suffering to be convincing. Needless to say, being able to leave my body helped to mitigate the pain, both during the 8-hour shoot and with the second-degree burns afterwards. I owe that woman much. Yeah, actually, only since I've been at the Colonial. The unemployed cometh was shot on sight. That makes it, a few weeks. I cannot recommend her services enough. If you haven't been to see her yet, you really should. Oh, come now, Inspector. What do you take me for? I'm an old man. I neither have the time nor the willpower to kill people for fun. Besides, I have my reputation. Bellamy has been my co-star throughout the autumn of my career. I should like to think I knew her. In fact, I cannot name a single role in the last 10 years that did not involve her in some way. Unless you count the uncredited silent shopkeep on Melissa's Meteoroids. I'll ask you this. If you'd been the star of cinema for years, then suddenly found yourself scrounging for bit parts while a younger person stole the limelight, how would you feel? In short, the two of us weren't close. But that's not to say my dislike of her was so extreme that I tried to do anything drastic. Resenting Bellamy is one thing, but killing her is another completely. It's also beneath me. I suppose that it... Indeed. The agonizing bowel pain was most undignifying. While I've certainly had no shortage of inadequate hotel meals, this was most explicitly pronounced. I suspect poison. And who would be most likely to poison me but Chef Anwar? Oh, we've clashed almost non-stop about his slop preparation. He must have tainted my meal in retaliation. How alarming! Whoever targeted her was certainly targeting me. I can only thank my ironclad constitution that I'm standing here before you. Oh, that's very good to know. Perhaps the poisoner simply meant to incapacitate us both, disrupt the product launch. I couldn't say, Inspector. I'm merely an actor. Is that a jibe? Could you imagine the tabloid headlines? Spencer Woolrich, Aetherwave star. None that I can think of. I treat all hotel staff equally, and with the minimum level of respect that they deserve. Very well.
Yes? Are you here for the double rack of smoked sprat? Oh, don't give me that look. Let me see if I can pencil you in for later. You're the inspector? Here? Why? I mean... No. As it so happens, I was down in the employee break room. I wasn't taking an unsanctioned break, of course. I was merely fetching ingredients. Of course I did. I would never allow anyone else to touch the meals of so important a guest. Oh my law, this is the end, isn't it? My mother always warned me that the culinary world was too dangerous, but I didn't heed her warnings. Okay, I wasn't the one who did it, but I might have been mistaken when I said I was constantly watching Helen's food. Spencer Woolrich and Bellhop Owens were underfoot in the kitchen as I was preparing Helen's meal. Either one of them could have tampered with the food when I was fetching ingredients. I understand your reluctance, but... Constable Keene has access to the security footage in her office at the spaceport. If you visit her, you can figure... Yes, but not specifically. Owens often procures exotic ingredients from the creatures at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. Our guests can be rather... particular. Let's not talk about the incident with the Raptidon pheromone glands. It's always hard to say when Owens might be back. If I were you, I'd make a trek to the reserve myself. Otherwise, who knows how long you'll have to wait. Well, it's a breach of professionalism, of course. Why else would I worry about it? It was just some light smuggling. Light! Is that really so wrong? All right, maybe it is. I may have taken some time to engage in a teensy bit of recreational drinking, and consequently, I may have been somewhat less than coherent after preparing Helen's meal. Mr. Woolrich often finds the hotel's meals wanting. While I could appreciate, if you wish to speak with him, Mr. Woolrich can most likely be found. Thank you for...
Spokesman said that the unveiling...
Here we go. Wanted to make you smile. I'll show you. Don't you
Greetings. Non-criminal bureaucratic. Please speak clearly. All requests for security footage require a nominal compulsory bribe. Is that acceptable? Error. Bit processing unit has been removed, temporarily surpassing bit fee request. Funds will be requested from Rizzo's leadership with interest at a later delivering footage, if you would.
Rizzo Spectrum Vodka. Aftertaste the rainbow.
No, I'm afraid I haven't.
With us? You are in for it now.
Follow me out. Oh, yeah. No one bring me down. You'll be happy.
Get on.
The brochure never mentioned anything about mosquito attacks. What other dangers are they hiding from us?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis of this stovetop reveals an alarming approximating proximity to volatile gases and chemicals. Chances of an explosive combustion upon next use currently at 92.9%. Searching slug work logs. No work log found. Creating conjecture. Slug has likely not fixed this issue due to a lack of responsibility on the... Most corporations have regular cleaning procedures to prevent damage to Slug, already unlike most corporations in a variety of ways, does not.
Stop!
Performing scan. Gaslight appears to have gone out some time ago. Chance of explosive combustion without gaslight, 0.01%.
What floor? If you see...
Please, can't you see my heart is bursting at the seams? I absolutely must go out. Ask me anything at all. Oh, have you now? Tampering? No, no, no. I just happened to be passing through the kitchen and saw a dish that looked good. If being hungry is a crime, you better indict 3/4 of Halcyon. What? That damn bellhop promised discretion. Well, if you must know, it's an appetite suppressant. How do you think I keep my form so lithe? Terror ray glands keep me from feeling hunger pangs.
I've never heard of that. You sure you're talking about terror rays? Their bits tend to give folks the runs.
Oh, that's it. I'm firing my nutritionist this instant. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a breach of my... No, I can't keep doing this. You've caught me. As it so happens, I may not have had the terror ray gland acquired for personal use. I may have placed it in Bellamy's meal. But before you indict me, please, just listen. I wasn't trying to kill her. Lie is such a strong word. But even if I had chosen to poison myself, the danger should have been minimal. Terror ray glands aren't supposed to be lethally poisonous. They're supposed to cause extreme lethargy, as if you'd inhaled several quarts of Spectrum vodka. She would have had to eat 6 or 7 of the glands to die, and even then it would be an extended, arduous process. I was just getting to that. I only wanted her to be incapacitated during the Brown unveiling. With her out of commission, the next available celebrity, myself, would get to host the unveiling. Please think twice about telling the administrator of my misdeeds. If he learns the truth, what's left of my career will be left in shambles. Tell him it was a poisonous mushroom, or a bite from some poisonous insect. An accident. I promise I shall make up for my actions. Pay to erect a statue in Helen's honor, or perhaps even dedicate a performance to her memory. My law, if you aren't a sadist. If I have a coronary before you make your decision, I will do my utmost to haunt you.
So this is actually getting really interesting. Yeah, so I bought the other 2 parts to this game.
What floor would you...
And...
Next stop.
I've gone from level 28 to level 34, and I haven't even completed the mission. It's been a run around.
Inspector? Excellent. I trust you have a name for our poisoner. Bellhop Owens, recently deceased, at least according to my latest report. I wonder what compelled Owens to poison Helen. Professional jealousy? Gross incompetence? I suppose we'll never know. In any case, I have a lot of paperwork ahead of me. I'll need to give Mr. Owens a posthumous reprimand. I'd like you to continue investigating Helen's murder. You've found the poisoner, but her killer remains at large.
Okay, let's see. what part is next? The Queen. Cool. Let's do this. Stolobi, please. No, we're gonna leave. Okay, where'd it go? Profit of profitability. The profit of profitability. I gotta go this way. Oh, good, the bridge is open. Cool. It wasn't this time.
Have you seen a profit of profit?
What you making? Nice. No, I was just curious. If I eat anything, it's probably gonna hurt me. Wow, okay. Don't tell me I have to take that elevator all the way up just to go there. Jesus. Oh, hello. Whoa! Yeah, you're no match against plasma. Stupid kid.
That's the last of them.
What are you screaming at the top of your head for? They're dead.
This is Silvio Tran, setting a new record for the Grand Colonial Bellhops Laundry Cart League. If you're listening to this, you're listening to history. And Daltrey, as we agreed, when I win, you're scraping terrorist shit off the windows for the rest of your contract. And you can stow the fear of heights routine because there's no way you're weaseling out of that, pal. Here goes. That's... Move the box! No, not... No!
Oh, hell yes. Show me the biggest, baddest wildlife you've got, Eridanos. I'll bring it home on a plaque. Candy Canyon? Is that because we taste like lollipops to raptidons?
Go!
Everyone all right?
Okay, nobody needs this many candles.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis suggests this to be a variety of herbs. Herbs have been uniformly treated with a pungent chemical mix. Warning. Ingesting, smoking, or inserting non-corporation sanctioned substances into your ears may be harmful to your health. Side effects from extended exposure include dizziness, nausea, and unconsciousness, additional likelihood of organ shutdown and/or death. Prior analysis suggests these herbs reach peak effectiveness when users burn them and inhale the resulting smoke. Whether or not this increased effectiveness is good for an afflicted individual has yet to be determined. Analyzing. Complete. Substance appears to be a mix of industrial solvents and various essential oils. Substances include woolly cow dander remover, sprat oil, and starship surface wax. Hypothesizing. Potential side effects from herb consumption. Most likely outcome, decapitation. Slight possibility of calculation error.
Fruitful and productive welcome, brother. I had a feel. I offer a wide variety of productivity seminars. I hope you'll consider taking one. Certainly, certainly. But first, Yes, I understand the pressure of one's employment all too well. But you needn't worry. I'm delighted to extend my desire to aid you, brother. Oh? I'm surprised. I wouldn't... We may have had some terse interactions before her death, which I most certainly regret. What would you care to know? Why, I've been at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve for quite some time now, as my disciples can attest. In fact, I haven't visited the Colonials since I arrived several weeks ago. Bad energies, you understand. I did not. She had no interest in my seminars, and I had no interest in attempting to convert a stubborn actress. Why would I have had any cause to engage with her further? I wouldn't necessarily say that. The media tends to exaggerate. I will admit that her remarks about my seminars were rather unfortunate. However, I certainly wouldn't sharpen any sabers over it, if that's what you mean to imply. I only do that when my clients skimp on their bills. I hope you...
Hello, welcome, least. I was here at the retreat in the company of the other disciples and clients. I rarely have more than a few minutes of alone time, which is fine, of course. I do what I do in the service of the Prophet, who will, I'm sure, reward me for my sacrifice. Yes, the circumstances there are quite unfortunate. For a time, the Prophet was completely despondent. Even the hot coal walks weren't buoying her spirits as they usually do. However, we recently had a high-profile visitor whose presence seemed to alleviate whatever the Prophet's fears were. I'm actually not entirely certain. It was a surreptitious visit that stood out because it was surreptitious. Whoever it was must have paid the Prophet quite a lot to keep things quiet. At least that's the only reason I can think of for intentionally keeping things so hush-hush. Well, by and large, no. But something rather odd did happen regarding the Prophet recently. A few hours after our high-profile visitor arrived a couple of days ago, the Prophet asked me to take over sessions for the remainder of the day. At first, I was excited. Thought it was my chance to show her what I could do in charge. But then I saw that she was deeply worried about something. No one saw her until the next day.
Damn.
Certainly. Of course, I've been she's promised me. Of course, I've been waiting. If you sit and remember. But actually, before you go, I noticed the Prophet's dragging something, a bundle, away from the retreat after that high-profile guest arrived. Normally, I'm the one who does her laundry, so it was strange. Especially because whatever she was dragging seemed oddly human-shaped. I think so. Had the right size and shape.
Timeline discrepancy. Identifying human footprints. Scanning. Checking database of judging by footprint depressions and shoe size. These prints were either made by the Prophet of Profitability or Adjutant Sophia Akande. Error. Recalibrating. These footprints were made by the Prophet of Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected. Additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected. Additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline. Judging by the shape of this indentation in the dirt, a person of medium height and scanning for other details. Only additional signs of disturbance are a few marks in the dirt. Agreed. Likely theory. Individual injured was unconscious, not dead.
Go! Down they go! Don't mess with us!
Welcome. I'm Yes, that's... Well, whatever the case, I didn't care to mention Helen's change in decision because she never showed up. I don't see how it matters. Oh, really? What? That all sounds like hearsay, brother. Perhaps your humors are off balance and confusing your sense of justice. Perhaps... Who said that? I'll be sure to give them a special seminar on not needlessly implicating the person who puts food. It was a bundle of clothing, brother. Even productivity geniuses need to do laundry from time to time. Perhaps it wasn't clothes, after all. I had a visitor, yes. But as it turned out, some of my productivity techniques were too much for them. I had to drag them out by hand. But their peers came and collected them shortly thereafter. I'm sure whichever attendee it was is perfectly safe now. I'm the compound. Clever work, Inspector. It seems even I can't slide my way up. Helen changed her mind and wanted to attend one of my sessions. I, knowing the importance of the seminar. So when it came time, I chose to double Helen's dosage of productivity-enhancing herbs. I left her to meditate, and when I returned, she was dead. After that, I entered a less than coherent state. One of my disciples, it seems. I'm no medical professional, but that certainly seemed the case. Usually my customers at least writhe or mumble after a session. My productivity-enhancing... Do you jest? The guests at the Colonial eat no shortage of strange things, but I think corpses are perhaps too strange. The creatures of the wilderness are much... Besides, the hotel is ridiculously far. I couldn't have made it all that way without someone realizing... Laws, no. I hate guns. If I ever wanted to kill someone on purpose, I would have used a blunt weapon. Nothing quite like clubbing someone over the head. What? Is this some kind of joke? You're an inspector. I don't believe you. I think this is all a trick. You're trying to catch me in a lie. Get me to reveal my productivity secrets. No. Someone must have moved it after I killed her. One of my business rivals, waiting for me to fall into a false sense of security so they can strike. No. You can't trick me. I finally discovered what's happening. You've been paid off. Someone else learned that I killed Helen, and is going to use that information to blackmail me. You think I'm going to let this injustice happen? Ha! Tell the constable that I killed Helen. It's 1,000 times less miserable than whatever my enemies have planned. You monster! What am I supposed to do now? They'll be here soon. And once they arrive, I'll be powerless. Powerless! I just want to go to prison! Is that so wrong?
Inspector? Ms. Leyva earned that title, but not for the reasons you'd expect. The Prophet business has been profitable for the hotel. Not so... So, tell me... Ms. Leyva's techniques have no basis in modern science, but she makes bits hand over fist. If that makes her a fraud, then she's only as fraudulent as our corporate leaders. Does the Prophet strike you as a reasonable candidate for Helen's murderer? Arresting the Prophet could spell the end of her career. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Thank you for the update, Inspector. I'll include everything you've told me in my official report.
What's going on now?
He's hungry.
Inspector? I've been... Tell me, Inspector. I beg your pardon. There's nothing to prove. I don't understand. Are you trying to make a mockery of justice, or are you really this incompetent? I expect you to deliver the name of Helen's killer. I expect you to deliver results, Inspector. And if you can't withstand the pressure, then I expect you to resign. We're done. Your services are no longer necessary.
Okay.
I'm defensive, Inspector, because I'm under attack. I am assaulted by your perfidious and baseless accusations. You're convinced I murdered Halcyon Helen. Fine. Show me some evidence. If you have no proof, then you have no case, and I have no further use for you. Wait, don't move a muscle. Someone's just tripped my alarm. And my security defenses. And killed my patrols. The distillery is under attack. Someone's after me, Inspector. I need you over here right now. Forget what I said. I'm renewing your Damn it. Someone's interfering with my transmission.
Whoever the real killer is, I got a feeling they're going after Mr. Ludovico. We need to catch up.
All right. I got nothing going on.
We should definitely go. As for helping him, maybe we take the wait-and-see approach?
From the depths of Terra 2 to the heights...
Leveled up again? Jesus.
What floor would you like?
Ooh, this is heavenly. Think they'll have free
Welcome, valued patrons, to our splendiferous source of spectacular spirits and sweets. Rizzo's is committed to behind the scenes, I bet you're pretty thirsty.
Am I supposed to? Restroom.
Let me know if you don't want your sample. Can't let it go to waste.
Okay, how? Gotta be a backdoor entrance. Okay, you know what? There has to be a back door. I'm content on finding it. Oh shit.
That's the last of them.
Whoa. That's an awful lot of blood.
It's you. I had a feeling you'd catch up to me sooner or later, Inspector. I was just hoping you'd find me standing over the Administrator's corpse.
What in law's name? Halcyon Helen, how are you still alive?
Oh, is that Ludovico I hear? Perfect. I'm so glad he's still in the building. Would you mind letting him know I'm about to blow his whole operation to flinders? Brace yourself, Inspector. You're about to learn the biggest secret in the Aether. Halcyon Helen was never one person. I shared this role with my twin sister, Belinda.
A twin? The only thing worse than being an only child has gotta be having a perfect sibling. Can you imagine the parents?
Belinda and I were the best kept secret in the business. Nobody could tell us apart. And certainly not a peevish pet. So when I discovered the truth, when I realized what Ludovico was about to unleash on this colony, Belinda paid the price.
I have no regrets. I'd do it again if it means defending Halcyon's future.
Tell the truth, Ludovico. There's nothing safe about Spectrum Brown. You want to infest this entire colony with those disgusting parasites.
They're not parasites. These creatures are symbiotic life forms. They belong to the highest order of life form, capable of living in perfect harmony with humanity. The symbiotes evoke a feeling of joy in their host. A bliss so pure, so profound as to render the most exquisite recreational substance obsolete. Oh, don't you see, Inspector? I want to bring... You think I'm Listen to me. But what about Helen? What about all the innocent people she's killed?
Have you met Dr. Blossom? She was practically a reptile. A cold-blooded psychopath who toyed with human lives in the name of... Leora Blossom wasn't a person. She was a weapon in Ludovico's arsenal. You call it murder? I call it disarming my enemy. The mascot was a spy working for Ludovico. He was ordered to keep an eye on Belinda and I, and report back to his
You're being paranoid. I barely knew.
Don't try to deny it. Anywhere Belinda and I went, that mascot was there, just watching us with those cold, dead eyes. That doesn't surprise me at all. He was on Dr. Leora Blossom, Maria Keene, that flackwit of a mascot. They were standing between me and Ludovico, so I did what I had to do. I went through them. She was on Ludovico's side. When she realized I was alive, she refused to stay silent. I gave Maria a chance. I told her about Belinda. I asked for her help, but she turned me down. She was honor-bound to report. Maria had a duty to her company, and I had a duty to Belinda. We both did what we had to. But in the end, I was the fat... You know what you need to do. Help me avenge Belinda.
Don't listen to her. Listen to me. Throw in with Helen and you destroy Halcyon's only chance at real happiness. Think of the future, Inspector. A lifetime of bliss and...
It's a deal.
Couldn't agree more. The last thing this colony needs is more grit.
We don't have a lot of time. We need to get out of here.
Not so fast. I've sealed the bulkhead doors. I'm sorry to do this to you, Inspector. Truly I am. If it's any consolation, Helen has brought some remarkably powerful explosives. Goodbye, Inspector. Helen.
Damn it. I sealed this in, but I think I know another way out. Head through that door. There's another way out. open that door for you.
I'll keep it down.
We may have put a stop to Ludovico's operations, but he's still at large. He's probably gone into hiding, so we're going to root him out. This entire complex has been exposed to those parasites. Law only knows how many they've infected. Most of them won't even know they're carrying a parasite inside of them. If they're showing symptoms, it's probably already too late. Boundless energy, insufferable joy, an almost saccharine attitude of optimism. Then just like that, parasites bursting out of their bodies, fat and wriggling with vital energy. You're a step ahead of me, Inspector. An airborne pesticide of some kind. I think you may be onto something. Let's meet back at your penthouse. We'll ready our next move. Not here. In private, back at the penthouse. Also, I rather like the ambiance there. See you soon, Inspector.
It's strange. When you walk through that door, I half expected to see Belinda. Belinda and I practically shared a life. Losing her feels like losing a limb. She's conspicuous by her absence. Thank you, but no. I can't grieve properly while Ludovico's still breathing. So let's see if we can't solve that problem first. We shut down Ludovico's distillation plant, but he's not gonna sit idly by. If he can't use Spectrum Brown to infect the colony, he'll resort to some kind of backup plan. I stole this formula from Dr. Blossom, a failed prototype of Spectrum Brown. Look at this. The prototype had the opposite effect, and actually made you immune to the parasites. Precisely. I see we're in your wheelhouse, Inspector. Or do you prefer Doctor? We're going to need 2 ingredients. A sample of essence of Sprat, and 1 intact pod of parasite eggs. Cedric's warehouse in the Perea spaceport almost certainly carries a batch of Sprat essence. As for the pod, I'd check the Wilderness Reserve if I were you. I'm glad one of us is an expert. Most of what I know is based on Dr. Blossom's notes. Here's what I understand. Sprats have an adaptive immune system. They don't suffer from the diseases and parasites they carry. It's one reason why you'll see them in every corner of the colony. Dr. Blossom experimented with Sprats and accidentally discovered a way to become immune to the parasites. That's probably when she decided to switch to human testing. You're a scientist and an inspector? You really are full of surprises. I borrowed a centrifuge from the research lab. Used the ingredients to synthesize an antiparasitic. I'm glad I could count on your expertise. Once you're finished, head to the pilot house. We'll hijack the control system and disperse the cure into the atmosphere. That should kill off most of the parasites. Are you worried I'm gonna shoot you in the back? You're right. You do deserve the spotlight. Here. You take good care of my Needler, and it'll take good care of you. There is one other thing. While you're at Piraeus Spaceport, have a word with Cedric Kincannon. I know Cedric. There's nothing he wants more than a chance to eliminate Ludovico. We could use him on our side. Best of luck, Inspector. I'm counting on you. Why, Inspector? Am I being questioned? All right, Hawthorne it is. Belinda and I shared the role of Helen, but she was also the only person who knew the real me. To the rest of the colony, I'm Halcyon Helen, but to my sister, I was just Ruth. I could be myself around Belinda, and she could be herself around me. She was my only sister, but she was also my only friend. Parents, naturally. An agent, a couple of directors. None of them had any reason to reveal the truth. To them, Helen was a brand. Revealing our secret meant damaging that brand. Damaging that brand meant losing money. Nobody in this colony wants to lose money. Belinda and I saw Helen as an act of theatric sleight of hand. I'm glad I could satisfy your curiosity.
What floor?
I wonder if I can take her with me. I wonder if that would be an option.
Please do not waste company.
Just wanted to make you smile!
They're on us.
I'll show you happiness!
They didn't even get our hands dirty. Boom!
Thank you!
I just want to be your friend!
I burnt!
Take him down.
to make you smile!
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Maybe.
Everybody's distracted.
Law, how'd you get in here alive? You are alive, yeah? And not one of them? No, you look clean. Good. You'd better get inside with the others.
Inspector! I'm afraid you may find the spaceport is, at the moment, less hospitable than usual. Regardless, you must have some purpose here. With Helen, you... I'd forgotten how disarming your sense of this anti-parasitic. It would restore my people to their original, non-infected selves? Coincidentally enough, Ella Tinsley, the warehouse foreman, you remember her? There's a package on the desk in her office. You'll find the essence of spray. Oh, I wouldn't like to say. A customer supply. Now then, is there... Oh, my. You mean Lou was up to no good this whole time? It's an ambitious plan, I'll give him that. But tell me, why... Could I encourage you to pause and take a deep breath? I can see this. You can expect slug support. I'll arrange for my agents to meet you at the distillation station. I'll do that. I think one of our checkpoint guards is going... As thrilled as I am to assist you in taking down Lou, we have barricaded. I imagine you have a plan for getting out of... Are you really? Inspector, I'll admit, I'm awfully fond of my agents. To see them restored will be a great... Thank you.
Want to guess which gland essence of Sprat comes from? Yeah, me neither. If I were the killer, I'd hide the body in one of those crates. No one would find it for years.
fun!
To make you smile!
What? That's odd. Better take a look.
Greeting protocols suspended. All non-essential protocols suspended. Phaeton is standing by for larval compound dispersal. Affirmative. Incoming message from Risk.
What have you done? What in law's name have you done? You hijacked our atmosphere. Are you trying to kill us all? No. I'm not going to let you destroy everything I've built. I can still fix this. I can undo the damage you've done.
End of...
Weren't you looking for a new hat?
Indeed.
Me out. Make you smile. Good job, Captain.
Don't you frown at me. I'm not gonna let no one.
You are.
Down they go. Everyone all right? Sure. Make him regret it. I can't stop! No!
that a thing?
Their mistake.
Don't you proud of me? Sure, I just wanted to make you smile.
On my way.
This place is definitely not sanitary.
I'm going.
Here they come.
I can't hear you laugh.
Get it up! Get it up!
What have you done? So damn good in my life. Giving me the chuckles. I just wanted to make you smile.
Be right there.
Sure. They got the drop on us.
I just wanted to make you
There we go.
wanted to make you smile.
Be right there.
This is it. Check your weapons, folks. Could be anything in there.
Yes, I know you're hungry. Be patient. I'll feed you soon enough. Just a guest. The one I told you about. The inspector. Welcome. We were just talking about you. You and I are standing in the presence of royalty. Don't worry. You'll meet her soon enough. I know what you've done. Hijacked Phaeton. Contaminated the air we breathe with your poison. You think you've saved this colony? All you've done is robbed Halcyon of its last chance at real happiness. And you've angered my queen.
Nope. Nope.
Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to feed you to the Queen, and then I'm going to find a way to repair the damage you've done. Don't be afraid. She can smell fear, and it makes her absolutely ravenous. Your Highness! Dinner is served. Wait, no, not me. Damn! Merciful law! Stop!
They're on us.
Someone else will clean this up, right?
This machinery cluster is now active. Please exercise caution.
You made it! I guess this is a...
Take your best shot, asshole! Don't mess with us.
I must have dreamed up 100 different ways to kill. I'll be honest, eaten alive by the queen of the brain slugs wasn't on that list. Is that so strange? I imagined this moment would be a little more cathartic. But Belinda's still gone, and I don't feel all that different. I can't go back to the way things were. I can't return to my old life because it was never my life to begin with. It would... Never mind, you don't need to listen to this. Thank you again for your help, Captain. I never would have made it this far without you.
Ludovico was eaten by a giant slug? What an absolute tragedy. Ludovico was eaten by a giant slug? What an absolute tragedy. Very brave of the slug, though. Ooh, must have tasted so bitter.
Welcome back, Captain. Or shall I call you Inspector? What can... During your absence, I passed the time by simulating a number of hypothetical conclusions to this case. Unfortunately, my understanding of the facts is limited, and my appraisal of the individuals involved is not flattering. Therefore, my conclusions are inaccurate. My simulations have yielded several possible causes of death. Halcyon Helen may have been killed by one or all of the following: asphyxiating on Rizzo's Spectrum Brown, grappling with a primal while inebriated, killed by an overzealous fan, death by automechanical, or profound loneliness. How close were my estimations? Please, do so. Administrator Ludovico killed Halcyon Helen? I have been programmed to simulate contempt and mild surprise. Mr. Ludovico had the audacity to hire you to solve a murder he committed? I am contemptuous and mildly surprised. This information is valuable to me. I will update my behavior simulation protocol accordingly. Thank you, Captain. How can I be of assistance? May luck be with